Before we get partially shit-faced, I'd like to remind everybody that this podcast contains two very pissed-up gays with their opinions, rants and raves in life, and overall explicit content, which we know you love. Everyone and anyone is welcome to this podcast, so strap yourselves in, pour yourself a large one, down it just like us, and pour another, and let's get this going and read between the wines. Oh, 2 quickies in 1 week. Look what we're doing for everyone.
I know, yeah. Never have we been so promiscuous. Well, I haven't.
I mean, this is tame for me. But yes, in the terms of the podcast, very promiscuous pod this week. 2 little quickies in 1 week for the lovely people that listen to this podcast.
Really spoiling our listeners.
And it is officially 1 day before the big show. Whoop, whoop. Penultimate evening before the live event.
Yeah.
As you said, consider this a little bit of extra foreplay before the big climax on Friday.
We're edging you.
Oh my god.
If yesterday was foreplay, this is definitely edging.
How many puns are going to be in this one? Yeah, we've been edging you for the last couple of days, ready for that massive, explosive cum shot on Friday. Oh my god, we're not even a minute in and it's filth already.
It's what they all tune in for.
Oh god, why does my episode have to be smutty and disgusting in the first minute?
Are you surprised? Is anyone surprised?
Never fucking surprised when it comes to me. But yeah, penultimate episode before the live show, and I'm sure you've been listening and heard us banging on about it, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. we will be live on stage at the Royal George in Soho, right opposite GAY, or right next to GAY, should I say, downstairs. Come and join us.
Yeah, we can't wait to see all of your wonderful faces.
And have a glass of wine on us. We'll get it before it goes, because we're not fucking paying for you fuckers all night. And also come and get yourself on camera, because we've got Pixel Pad UK, who is going to be filming the whole event for us.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we want lots of audience shots. We want to see your climax faces, your cum faces, your laugh out loud faces, your shocked faces. I don't want sad faces though.
No sad faces, please.
No, just laughter, just your cum face, your laughing face. You know when people ugly laugh? You know when it's that bad?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, ugly laugh.
And I'm going to be all in pink.
You will. I mean, no surprise there either, mate.
No surprise. However, as I've said to you, we changed all the artwork to have me with dark hair. And what have I done the week of the fucking live event? Go back to being pink.
Hey, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, we need to freshen things up now and again. It's like spicing up your sex life.
Oh, gosh. That's as far as we go, me changing my wig to a nice poppy colour. Anything I don't like about it, no, is like if somebody like kind of sometimes when we had the first artwork with the pink hair. Well, this was not the first artwork, but the first artwork with us in it. Yeah. The one that's on the wall still now, as we look in this little studio with the pink hair, and I had the pink hair. If anyone like on the tube, for example, would glance across and look at what I was doing, they would see me on the pod, and then they would look and see it's me, and they'd be like, oh, that's him. And I'm like, that's the narcissist in me. Like, I wanted people to realise that, I'm listening to my own pod, and what?
I think, to be honest, was... What was only slightly worse is when we've been discussing the pod on the train and screaming out the words...
Gangbangs and threesomes.
Sex slave, cum shot.
Do you remember that lady? She really found it funny.
Dildos, gangbangs, glory holes.
That was a good day. Yeah, she just like that. I think that made her evening.
Sure.
Sometimes I forget where we are. And even this morning, actually. Well, should I say yesterday morning, not this morning. Planning this.
Yeah.
Well, not this. The live one, should I say? God, I'm getting all my words mixed up. People listening, even on public transport, I think people find it funny. But yeah.
I think we do get a few tuts and rolled eyes, but hey, good.
Yeah, I don't often listen to the podcast, and I've said to you, like, where you sometimes listen to it back and have a recap, should I say, of what we've done. I never listen to it, but there are the occasions when I have, and yeah, I did kind of like it when people would look over my phone. That's me, bitch.
That's my toxic trait, listening back to my own voice.
But anyway, yeah, so I look back, my turn. I look back at the last 30 episodes.
Yeah, so what have been your highs?
Well, aside from obviously the podcast itself, watching the little studio room that we, film this in evolve over the last 30 episodes has been amazing. I said, like, we've touched on it before, and I've said what started off as a tiny little desk with 2 little mics, and I've kept my pink mic because I love it, and it's where... it's where I began. But the actual setup has changed. It's got bigger and bigger and bigger and more sophisticated. And I say, like, as the pod has evolved, so has the neon lights. I feel like you can tell how far we've come by how many neon lights we've got, and so much so that you could probably see us from fucking space.
Hey, that's not a bad thing, you know. Better than the River Thames.
I love it. I'm loving that. Yeah, the podcast has evolved, but so has the lights, and I don't plan to stop there with the lights. I plan more.
Exactly.
More neon lights and more fun.
I'm sure astronauts will thank us because, along with the Great Wall of China, the River Thames, Gemma Collins, they can see our room.
I fucking hate Gemma Collins. But yeah, apart from that, I think episodes in general, for me, one of the big highlights was like the kinks and fetishes episode.
Yes.
I loved that. The confessions episodes I really loved. And also, like, you don't realise when you do these episodes and you read out people's confessions, you start to just, you start reeling off your own. And it's only when you fucking edit it and it goes out, you think, oh, I shouldn't have fucking said that. Like, what must people think of me? And even now, like, I say to people, don't listen to it. Although we fucking need the listeners. We need the fucking listeners because they're the ones that keep us going.
Well, exactly.
You do fucking learn a lot about yourself.
You do.
Learn a lot about each other as well.
These are all stories that you reflect back on and at the time probably mortified you, but hey, it's hilarious.
I always say, like, a lot of these stories that we've read out are borderline oversharing. Not just us oversharing, but people that we read, stories of other people that we read out. And sometimes I've been so shocked and taken aback by what I've read out. Now going down to like episode 30, I'm not as shocked. I can say we're more desensitized to it now. In the early days when we first started this, I was really shocked when we read some of this shit out. It was an education.
It certainly was.
But yeah, kinks and, people, as I said, like the kinks and fetishes, the confessions, people really don't hold back. And, that's what drives this podcast, right? So that's what keeps it going. I think, like, for me, the main highlight of this is the stories. Like, it's fun to talk about us ranting. It's fun to talk about, the week and, our stories. But when I read people's stories and some of the things that people share, that for me, that really is the highlight of this podcast, and it's reading those stories out and being, as we always say, the filthier the better.
And I think as well, like, not in every case, maybe not in the case of some of the shit spilling everywhere stories, but I think some of the stories, when you hear them back, they really make you remember stories that maybe you'd forgotten or are kind of connected. You think, oh my God, like, I can totally relate to this in a certain degree.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I can relate to it because I've already done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I know someone that's done it.
Or you've secretly submitted the story yourself.
I've never secretly submitted a story. Listen, 30 episodes in, I've been brutally honest to everyone on this fucking podcast. So much so that people have said to me, I can't quite believe what you share on there. What's the point in doing it then? Like, if I'm going to do a podcast which is all about being, like, scandalous in the gay world, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't share my own experiences. Exactly. Right? I'm just being brutally honest, girls. Girls and gays and guys and everyone in between. I'm just being totally honest.
Exactly, yeah. Practice what you preach.
Yeah, if I'm going to ask you, you dirtbags, to submit your stories, who would I be if I didn't do the same? One of the stories, though, that for me was one of the best stories, and I think it was it was either a confession episode or a horror story episode, and I think it was more the horror story episode. But it was a guy that shared his story and said that he was making out with his girlfriend and she was sucking him off, and just as he was about to come, the girl's little brother walked in and didn't know what was going on, so waved at the guy, and all he thought about in that moment was to wave back while he was coming in her mouth. So the little boy, or I don't know how old he is, but the younger brother saw this guy come into his sister's mouth, and all they did was wave at each other. Borderline fucking predatory, but you just couldn't make that shit up, could you?
I mean, yesterday during my flashback episode, like, I talked about some sweet stories. There's a certain sweet element to that.
Well, it's connected to all the family, isn't it? I mean, that's a whole new level of, bonding and breaking the ice.
It's completely.
Remember years to come. Remember that time when I saw you come in her mouth? Fucking hell.
I could have been an uncle.
You wouldn't want to kiss your... Well, it could be anyone, couldn't it? But you wouldn't want to fucking kiss your sister again, would you?
No, not with those
I'm going to take your fucking cum breath away from me, bitch. Take your cum breath away.
How many loads have you taken today, sissy?
Oh, God. But yeah, that was one of my favourite...
yeah, I'd forgotten all about that one, yeah.
I love that one. Bit of a... We love... fucking cum guzzling girl. I wonder where she got that from.
Again, as I said, we can relate.
Oh, that's what Mum does. That same thing. That's where you get it from. Mum's a slut as well. The other one, like when I was reading back some of the, what people don't know is we don't ever script these episodes. Nope. Like when we read the stories, we don't read them beforehand. Like we only like if we have to. Like sometimes we quickly scan over them to make sure that they're the sort of things that we would want to share. We wouldn't want to share anything that's illegal. Yeah. Anything that's derogatory to anyone, whether that be male, female, those in between, like who express themselves however they want. We never share stuff where there's any bullying, any discrimination, anything like that. So we try not to read the stories, but obviously there is to an extent. We need to check that we're okay to share them. Yeah. But we never script these, and I think that's what makes, for me, this hilarious. And because we don't read these and we don't, rehearse or script them, sometimes when we finish the podcast, we'll quickly have a little recap, and in the bios of the episodes, we'll make a few notes. Like, it'll be from, from cum guzzlers to, sexy priests or whatever it is, I can't remember. But that's, for me, looking back at these episodes, I'd read some of those lines, I think, what the fuck is that about? What the fuck is that about? And then the urologist one, there was something we were talking about urologists this week, and I went back and I was like, what the fuck was that about? Then I saw it. It was going back to the confessions episode. She just wrote, it was a very short story. My urologist made me come hard. Got fingered by the urologist and it made her come. I fucking love that. I love that sort of confession.
Exactly, yeah. You kind of forget, you don't think these things happen, but they certainly do.
Oh, God.
If not to you, then to somebody else.
And if it's not confessions, it's the ones where, the cringe ones as well, like those episodes. Yeah. One I particularly loved where... it was a lady that submitted this story, and she said that in the heat of the moment during sex, she was meant to say "fuck my pussy," but instead she said "fuck my little cock." That's a mood kill. But she was like, we just kept going. Like, it's like fucking the cringy ones.
Yeah, they're also really good as well. Like, I'm a big fan of this cringy comedy as well, but those things happen in real life. Like, these things happen in real life.
And then, keeping with the cringy one, the highlight for me was when they were having sex and her wig fell off, so he didn't know what to do, so smacked her bald head and doing harder. You got to respect these people for sharing this sort of stuff.
You got to improvise sometimes. Go with the flow. I
don't know if in the heat of the moment during that, if someone's wig fell off, I just want to. The first thing I think is smack their bald head. I'd probably just keep going. I wouldn't feel the need to smack their bald head.
I mean, once probably not. If you suddenly do a drumming action on the top of their bald, that would be a real killer.
I'm all for smacking a butt cheek in the missionary position, but not a bald head.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. Oof. Whatever turns you on.
Oh, God.
Whatever turns you on.
I mean, the other one, the again, that's going back to the bios, and I think one of the episodes, was it an episode title? But it was you ejaculated to Umbot.
Yeah.
That was an episode title, wasn't
was.
it? Again, going back and trekking back and listening back to the stories, he made a playlist for her, and it was really lovely, and Hanson was on the playlist, and just so happened that he climaxed to the Umbop part. Things like that. Some of these things you just think, you fucking sad ass.
I know,
but we love it.
These are the things that give us life.
I don't think I could ever ejaculate to Umbop. And also, as I think we said back in that episode, it depends what era of Umbop we're talking about, because they've reunited and they're adults. Acceptable to ejaculate to adult Hanson. I don't know if it's acceptable to ejaculate to kid Hanson. Just a little bit weird and a little bit predatory.
I mean, it could be worse. It could have been a nursery rhyme or something.
Oh,
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall.
Imagine coming to a nursery rhyme. You need to be putting a fucking
on a list.
Yeah. If nursery rhymes turning you on, then girl, you need to seek help. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, another one that I I loved, which I related to, and I've never done this, but about that person that got drunk and she made a YouTube video of all the people that she'd fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And then her friend released it. It weren't all of the people that she fucked. It was all of the people that she wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
She got really drunk and made it. And her friend was like, I don't know what happened to them, whether it was out of malice or whether she just thought it'd be funny to release it.
Things you do when you're drunk or you're off your face.
An old best friend of mine, I released a video of her once, and it wasn't anything like that. It's not revenge porn or anything, but she was in a onesie and she had a massive camel toe, and I filmed it, and I thought it was hilarious. I put it on YouTube and played it in my dad's pub on the big screen. She fucking hated it. We don't talk no more.
Hopefully not because of that video.
Well, no, I'm not fussed if now I've got nothing to lose, girl. We don't really talk anymore. Yeah. I can relate to that YouTube video one. But the one that sticks in my head more than anything, and this will be my last one because it's meant to be a Bite Fans podcast, is and I don't know where this sat or what episode this was in. It might have been Confessions, or it might have been more of the horror stories. Was when the girl was seeing the guy and they were talking about, to be honest, this could be kinks and fetishes, but I don't think it was. I think it was horror stories, where she asked him if he would shit in a condom and freeze it so she could use it as a dildo. And he said no. So she dumped him. I'm like, you're taking the moral high ground, bitch? You asked him to shit in a condom so you could use his shit as a dildo, and he said no because he's probably of sane mind, and you dumped him for that. And he got dumped. Can't help but think you had a lucky escape.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you managed to dodge a bullet.
Oh,
quite literally.
God. Yeah, a shit bullet.
A shit bullet.
Always bringing it back to shit, aren't
all
we?
the time.
Shit or glory holes. But make sure there's glory holes on Friday.
There'll always be glory holes.
Yeah. Better if not, we better take our Black & Decker. Is that Black & Decker? Is that a brand?
Yeah.
The drill?
Yeah.
Look at me acting all mask like I know.
You've changed so much in this 30 episodes.
Yeah, look. In the Pink Palace talking about a fucking drill. If not, better take our drill. Is it a drill that we would need? Well, it depends on the size of the penis, don't it? A lot of my exes are there, so only a small drill.
Yeah.
Small drill. Oh, God. Anyway, tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is the big day. Foreplay over. We hope we've satisfied and hit the spot tonight. We're G'ing you up, or edging you, as we were saying. G'ing you up. That sounds really bad, don't it? That sounds like I've spiked someone's drink. I didn't really.
The wine's clear.
Yeah.
The wine it will be clear tomorrow.
If your wine starts to fizz, get worried.
It's more likely to be headache tablets than anything else.
No, that'd be in my glass. Anyway, we will. Yes, tomorrow is the big day. Friday, the 1st of March, which is tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
The Royal George in Soho, right next to GAY, or where GAY used to be. So, yeah, come down, come and say hi, come and grab a glass of wine on us, come get yourselves on camera, join in. There'll be plenty more to talk about tomorrow, as well as we'll be revisiting some of these stories. This was just a little sprinkle.
Exactly.
Well, let's read out some of our funniest stories, confessions, kinks, fetishes, the lot, as well as showing some video footage
They will be there.
of how this has evolved.
Absolutely, yeah. We
So-
can't wait to see you there.
I can't wait to see everyone there, but I don't want to see the weight gain of me in that fucking video where I've drunk so much fucking wine on this podcast.
We might need to detask after the live one.
We say that, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But anyway, yes, we will. Yeah, tomorrow's the big 3-0, big celebration of 30 weeks of doing this podcast and all what we've achieved. We'll save the stats for tomorrow, but until then, we will bid you farewell and see you tomorrow for the live event.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, RBTW Official.
As well as listening to us on all platforms: Spotify, Amazon Prime, Audible, Apple Podcast, all that jazz. Please like, share, subscribe, give us a review if you like, and please give us a 5-star rating because we fucking want it.
We're attention-seeking whores.
We are attention-seeking whores, and we're going to show you that tomorrow. Until tomorrow, we better get our beauty sleep on, and we'll see you for a right big piss up tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah.
So see you then. Bye.
Bye.